All right. Had a good Tuesday practice today. Really was a lot of enthusiasm from our kids and players, and also the coaches. Really appreciate those guys' effort. It's going to take a tremendous effort on Saturday. It's all about our preparation and how we do things. Got a lot of areas to improve upon from the last game. We didn't play very well, didn't coach very well. So we got our butts kicked in all three phases, on and off the football field. That's on me. I take full responsibility for that. But moving forward, we got to make sure that we are owning our jobs as coaches and players, and we got to quit being a my bad team or my fault coach. So we got to get it right the first time, and we just got it comes from practice, and that's the challenge for our guys this week. If we prepare the right way, don't worry about outcomes. Worry about how we're doing things, our techniques, what's our assignment, what's my job in all three phases, then things turn out the right way. And a lot of video evidence when we do things right. We're a good football team. And there's plenty of video evidence also when we don't do things right and don't pay attention to details, or it's my bad or my fault, then you don't get the results that's needed. So we got to clean things up, and we'll do that this week.
Do you have to find any kind of new message now, bowl eligibility out of the window, kind of the main goals you've been looking for to complete the season? Do you have to find something else to address to make sure the final three games you still get what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's still about our standard. I mean, there's going to be guys that's going to be here next year, and just like I said, a lot of the things that we're going to do moving forward has to be done in the correct manner, and the guys that will be a part of this organization will understand and know that, and it'll help us move into the off season and go into spring ball. So we guys just got to make sure that we're paying attention to the details, practicing the right way, not making the same mistakes over and over and over. Of course, we're going to address other things through the portal and through recruiting. So, those are the bright spots of the future. But, we're really concentrating on the present, and the present is getting ready for Arkansas State.
Does how you manage reps or the roster right now, given you're looking for the future, change at all with the last three games, or are you still kind of keeping?
No, we're playing the best players. I mean, who practice the right way, and then you got injuries that occur. So sometimes your hand is forced. So we know that as coaches. So we got to make the best game plan we can with what we have available from a roster standpoint, and then the guys that deserve the reps and do what they're supposed to do in practice will earn playing time on the field.
Was you remember around with the locker room, just how guys heads up?
Yeah, a great group of kids. They're fighting. This past game wasn't a reflection of who these guys are from a character standpoint and what they've done throughout the season. Just a lot of mistakes compiled on top of one another, and James Madison had a lot to do with that, but we also played a huge part in that by not doing our jobs, executing our assignments. Up front, we couldn't establish a run game, couldn't necessarily stop the run. We were bad in the first half on third down defense, and third down offense wasn't as good either. Allowing them to score right before the half, I thought was a critical point in the game. It was 21-7. They're backed up. They run two balls, and they're in plus territory. I think plus 35 or so, and it gives an opportunity, and they score a touchdown for a half. So a lot of momentum that we never seized and never had any, and that was just a disappointing part. Also, just the inability to sustain drives in the first quarter and stop people in the first quarter or the first drive is also things that we have emphasized and addressed. But it all goes back to assignments, not being too nervous, just practice play the way you practice. I mean, because there wasn't anything new that we saw that caused any issues. It's just a lack of coaching, lack of execution, and all of us have to take ownership in this.
With the slow starts, do you put it down to just not matching the energy of the other side, or are they maybe ready for what you're putting out there and just out scheming?
No, it's not energy. It's just, like I say, missed assignments, people not getting off blocks. I mean, you got to whoop a guy's butt too up front sometimes too. You can't continue to lose those battles. You got to do your job. I mean, everyone has things they got to do to make everything work. That's the great thing about football. It takes 11 people, and when one or two people mess it up, it could be a catastrophe. And we just all got to play winning football, make sure we're on the same page, and just play clean.
Defensively, is there any of maybe guys seeing things aren't going well, maybe trying to do more than their job and maybe getting out of position and allowing some of these big plays as a result?
Yeah, definitely not doing their job. And then, like I say, sometimes you just got to whoop a man's ass and get off a block.
The record aside, and obviously it's not what you wanted, where along the schedule that you'd hoped you'd be on are you at this point?
Like I said, there's been, if you just look back, which I don't necessarily like to look back, but we had opportunities to win, those 7 losses, 5 of those games. We just didn't execute or make the right play in the moment. And in those 5 games, it just went back to details, missed assignments, lack of execution, poor coaching or poor calls. So we all got a hand in it. We got to own it. And that's the challenge for our guys this week. This season won't necessarily define the future, but what we do and how we do things will define the future.
What about this week's opponent? Maybe you focus more on them or just, your own house?
Oh, no, I mean, it's both, but you got to definitely focus on Arkansas State. They got a really good offense. Quarterback is a dynamic football player. He can beat you with his legs as well as his arm. They got, one really outstanding receiver. And they got 2 other receivers that are very good players as well. I mean, tight ends are good blockers. Their O-line blocks. I would say the strength of their team is, their skilled guys, and they got good backs. So they got a good football team defensively. Same way they bring a lot of pressure. Gonna play a lot of man-to-man, and they'll disguise some things and play some two-shell things in the secondary. But just like that every week. I mean, even with the injuries we have, we still have enough. It's gonna come down to execution and guys starting and playing fast and just taking the preparation to the game and performing in the game. It's a performance-based business, and when the whistle's blown on Saturday, it's really in the kids' hands after that. No matter what a coach call, the players got to make the game plan come to life. And when we don't, the outcomes aren't what we want.
One thing going back to Saturday, with that successful 4th down on the punt, was that a fake that was called, or did James kind of have to improvise there? I know there was a guy about to block it.
And it was a poor execution on a lot of areas, but I can't disclose what it was. So.
About the first season for this conference, I know what your observations were from the outside, but then down to the inside.
Yeah, what I see is I see other teams' facilities are a lot different than ours. Their fan bases are definitely different. Resources are different. So me seeing what we're going up against, we got to do a tremendous job in NIL, acquiring the right talent to kind of overcome things that we don't have any control over here. And that's really the main goal, is to continue to recruit at a high level, make sure we're getting the right guys here, make sure we keep the correct guys that we need to keep that's on this roster. And if we can do those things and don't worry about those other things that we can't control right now, then I think we'll be okay. But we just got to amp up our efforts in that area that we can control, and that's, recruiting. We still offer great degree programs. Our coaches are great mentors, and we're going to teach you more than just football, teach you things about life. And, ultimately that's what we're in this business to do, is to influence and change and mold young teenagers into men. And, that's one thing that we're going to do continually. And, getting the off season is going to really, really help to kind of bridge that gap and build more connection with this team and this program.